Hey you, this is Rafik Hazi, the creator of Create Apps and Land Your First Client with Python in less than 90 days and get that first paycheck, and the founder of cleverprogrammer.com. Welcome to part 3 of my brand new series, The Profitable Programmer Masterclass. In this video, I'm going to literally give you the roadmap that has helped me go from zero to landing my first client in less than 90 days. And I'm going to share that with you so you too can go from absolute zero coding skills, knowing nothing about programming, not having written a line of code, to in less than 90 days getting that first client and getting that first paycheck. All right, before I continue, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all the engagement. We have had over 1,000 comments. Absolutely amazing stuff. We have people sharing what their Python earning potential is. We have people sharing what their lifestyle with Python and as a developer and a freelancer could look like, whether they want to be side hustlers, freelancers, or full-time developers. We have people sharing with us their dreams and their hopes of what kind of company they want to work on, or what kind of project they want to build, or what kind of app they want to make. We have people sharing how much money they want to be earning every single month, every single year, and we have people sharing what that could mean for them and for their families and how it could provide that security that they've always wanted. All right, by now you have seen why Python is the best choice for programming, because ultimately coding is all about taking that idea that's in your head and bringing it out to life. So the specific language you choose is just a tool, but Python makes the most business sense. And here's why. If you have watched the previous videos, you would know this. Because it's the most paid, it's one of the easiest coding languages, and it's one of the most popular and only growing. According to Forbes, Python is the #1 programming language of 2017, and by 2020, it will have beaten all other languages as well. It's actually such an important language that if you go on Google's main page, it's actually one of their minimum requirements. And as you already know, platforms like Instagram, Spotify, Reddit, YouTube, these were all built off of Python. You also saw why most programmers never really make any money, and it's because they focus too much on the coding part, too much on the technical part, whereas they don't work on solving those burning problems that big companies are happy to pay for. And remember, 85% of your financial success actually comes from your personal likability and your business skills, and only 15% of it comes from your technical skills. So by this point, if you haven't watched the first and second videos of this Profitable Programmer Masterclass, make sure you pause this one and go do that right now. All right, so by now you're probably feeling pretty overwhelmed. Your head is just bouncing all over the place with all this knowledge that you have, and you're like, Kazi, I know what being a Python freelancer will do for me and will do for my family. Kazi, I also know that it will give me the freedom that I've always wanted. It will make me happy. It will help me impact the world, and it will help me and do things because I want to and not because I have to. But, Kazi, how do I go from all this knowledge to becoming that highly paid Python freelancers? How do I actually get those clients? When do I know I am ready to start charging money for this? When do I know I'm ready from the zero coding skills, that complete beginner? If any of those things you're wondering right now, you are in luck, because in this video, that's exactly what's going to be covered. I'm going to be giving you a full-on roadmap how to go from a complete beginner to becoming a successful and highly paid Python freelancer. And I'll also be giving you my proven system, and I call it the Python client getting blueprint. And I'm going to be giving you all of those things right here in this video. And as a matter of fact, I've made this a downloadable thing, so you can actually go to the bottom and click download and get it right now. But I've got to warn you, if you download this right now and you start jumping around from place to place, none of it will actually make sense. So make sure that you follow and watch this video all the way through, because then when you get to that part, everything will make sense. And this part is so vital and so important, yet this is something that's completely overlooked by any other online course, any other online training program, any college, any coding boot camp. Look at Udacity, look at Team Treehouse, look at edX, look at Coursera. I mean, the list goes on and on. They teach you theory, but where's the practicality? They take money out of your pocket to get you into that course, but when do they put that money back into your pocket? All right, now look, anytime you're trying to learn these things on your own, it can be pretty complicated. Trust me, I know, because I've been there. I remember trying to learn a lot of web development stuff on my own. So I would Google things and I would come across terms like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, Django, SQL, databases, ORM, and apparently they said I need to know all of this to put together apps and much more. And that would have my head really like spinning, and I feel that this might be happening to you as well. But one of the most important things you're going to find out from this video is that in that roadmap I'm going to be giving you, I'm going to tell you exactly where to spend your time, and most importantly, you're going to learn where not to waste your time. Because believe it or not, most of your time and our time gets wasted looking at irrelevant things. And that's the reason, that's one of the biggest reasons why people spend so many years, right? Like I said, you can have these developers who have spent 30 years and make $30 an hour versus you have developers who spend 3 months and make $100 an hour. And that's exactly what I'm going to be helping you do in this video. So don't skip, watch it all the way through, and let's jump right into it. All right, so this is the most exciting part of this video, and we're going to get into the meat of this right now. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is I'm going to be showing you everything from a 50,000 foot overview so you understand what's going on and you're not left behind, in the weeds and the thick of thins or whatever. You get my point. I want to show you everything from a bird's eye perspective so you can see clearly what's going on, okay? So the first thing I'm going to tell you about is fundamentals of Python. All right, that's the most important thing. Now, these are all your one-on-one 101 tutorials on all these online websites. But the thing that I want you to be careful about here is that everything that you're learning, all the basics you're learning, should be in a way where you're going to be building an app later, okay? So these basics should be taught to you in that way, not just learning some weird math exercises that aren't going to help you in any way. So you want to make sure that you're learning about app building as you're learning Python. Very important. Now, let's move on to the next steps. And I just want to say that all these steps I'm going to touch briefly, except for the last one where we're going to freelancing, and I'm going to reveal to you something very awesome, and we're going to go in depth on that. So let's move on to point number 2. In point 2, we're going to talk about web development with Python. Now, this is the next phase after you have mastered the fundamentals of Python. You get into web development. This is where if you can build 1 or 2 apps with Python, let's say using a framework like Django or Flask, which you might not know anything about right now, but again, in your journey as you make progress, you will learn about these. And if you can make a simple blogging app with this, that's good enough. Or a to-do list app in Python using a framework like that, that's good enough to get started. This is a third stage and the optional one, and honestly, this is the best and my ultimate secret, and something that you don't have to do, but it will accelerate your progress by years and help you become that developer in months instead of spending all those years, okay? So this is coaching, okay? That's what step 3 is. And in this stage, once you're past fundamentals of Python and web development, you want to look for clients you can coach. And these are people who have no idea what programming is, but want to learn. And you will be the best coach because it's more relatable with them when you're coaching them. Because you don't have 30 years of experience and you know exactly how they think. So they're more likely to actually even hire you. And you can be looking to make easily $1,000 to $2,000 a month or more doing this. So one benefit, obviously, is you get money while you're doing this. But the big benefit of this is you are earning while you're learning. because the best way to learn something is to teach it, and it accelerates that progress, okay, that it would take you a long time. So I would strongly recommend step 3, coaching. But again, if you don't want to do it, no problem. Jump to step 4. Here's what step 4 is. Step 4 is freelancing. I know this is the part you're here for. And so for this, I've prepared something very special for you, and I'm going to reveal to you my Python client getting blueprint that I've put together. And we're going to switch over to the screen. Okay, we're going to stop this camera stuff. We're going to switch over to the screen, and in there, I'll show you how this works and walk you through it, okay? So be excited. Have some notes with you so you take them down. But don't worry, I have made this downloadable for you in the Profitable Programmer Roadmap. I put this there for you, okay? So don't panic, but take notes, watch, pay attention, and I'll see you on my screen right now. Let's jump into the Python client getting blueprint. First is your client attraction stage. You find somebody with a burning problem. In our case, in our scenario, we're going to be trying to find somebody with a burning Python problem. Maybe it just means that it's a problem that's solvable with Python, even if they don't explicitly state they need a Python developer. Maybe they just say something like, oh, I just need to make this app that needs to do something, okay? And you have to identify that. Once you do that, you have to come up with a way to solve it. And again, before I go any further, I'm going to be revealing this whole thing as we go along. And this stage is really designed to help you stand out from all those other needy freelancers who literally apply to hundreds of different jobs and get none of them. Whereas I want you to be that sniper who applies to that one job and lands it. All right? So here's the process for it. You find somebody, you come up with a way to solve it. So you come up with some kind of solution. Then you reach out to that client, not just, hey, this is John, and I thought your project was interesting. You want to give me a call? Not like that. What I want you to do is give them a solution, like propose to them something. So just come up with an idea and send them that. If they like that idea, that general idea that only took you maybe half an hour or an hour to put together, they're going to reach back to you. And then what you have to do is research a little bit more. Okay, we're on this stage now. Research a little bit more, schedule, and then you get on that damn call. Okay, and that's a call where you're gonna start working with them. Now we move on to our next stage, and this is the land the client stage. So this is gonna be another one of those really important stages, because we go from now just reaching out to them and getting on that first call to actually sending out our invoice and getting paid. Okay, so here's how it works. Step 1 of this is you have to qualify that client. Now, what does that mean? Qualifying means you first figure out, do they even have the money to pay you? Or are they the types of clients you actually want to be working with? Or are they the type of people who are going to overwork, underpay you, and steal, like basically just take advantage of you, all right? So that's what we really have to figure out here. So let's keep going, okay? So you qualify these guys, and you figure out what their budget is, what they're like, and whether or not you're going to like working with them or hating yourself. So we do this by sending them a questionnaire or a little quiz that they can solve or do on their own. All right, now moving on to the next thing. Once you do that and you like this client, here's what you're going to do. You're going to shoot over a project mockup plus proposal. So a project mockup meaning that instead of writing any code yet, you kind of just draw certain things and go, here's where I expect the login button to go. Here's where I expect maybe the portal to go. Here's where I expect the tab that says My Music to go in the app. So you're just basically drawing this out before you start coding and investing any time in it. And you send this over to them to kind of just make sure that you both are on the same page. Now, this middle stage over here, the 7-day proposal stage, now this is optional, because if they just follow up with you right away, then boom, you're done. But if they don't, which happens a lot of the times, you have the 7-day proposal follow-up, and you follow up with them pretty much every few days. and you send out an email or two. The 7-day proposal follow-up is optional. Now, the next stage is sending the project agreement plus signing the NDA. NDA is your non-disclosure agreement. All right. This is where you send the project agreement and you sign your non-disclosure agreement. Okay. After this stage is your send project invoice, or you charge hourly. This is where most of the Python freelancers get screwed over. I was actually even talking to a pretty expert level developer, and they told me that he wasn't sending an invoice until he did most of the project. That's really bad, and I don't want you to do that. Okay? If you get to the part where you're working with the client, they should be paying you before you get started for the full thing, or agreeing on an hourly rate with you, or just flat out, or at least paying you quarter or half of the money to show they're serious. And this way you don't waste your time, they don't waste their time, you both know you're serious, and you move on. This is the most important one, so don't skip this one. Okay, let's move on to the next one, the Python app building stage. So this is where the party is happening. All right, now you are, not only did you find the party, but now you are actually at the party. This is where the most fun stuff happens. Okay, so let's check it out. Here, the first step is map out what's needed. So what kind of technologies you need to be using to do this job. What kind of frameworks in Python you need to be using. Maybe it's Python, maybe instead of Flask, which is a web framework, maybe you need to be using Django. These are, again, things you'll learn, and they're not that hard as you make progress in your journey. But this is the step where you write down exactly the stuff that's needed, the requirements. Step 2, plain English. Before you write any code, this is where most people waste their time and are underpaid and overworked. Write in plain English, or in the language of your choice, your mother tongue, exactly what you expect each thing to do. So, again, where the login goes, where is the database, where is all this stuff stored? Like for Domino's, when they're doing that pizza app, where exactly is the pizza going to be viewed? Where exactly can you click to edit the order? Where exactly can you click to delete an order? On Spotify, where exactly can you go to add the music to the playlist? All right. So this, you have to write down everything in plain English before you start coding. Next step is you have to confirm your assumptions with your client. So, are the stuff that you wrote in plain English, is that correct? If not, then you have to go back to the drawing board and make sure that you actually understand what the heck it is that you need to do, and you get that figured out and then send it back to the client. But if the assumptions are confirmed, now you move on and you get to another fun part, which is actually start coding and building that app up. Okay, this way you're not going to be wasting your time, and you know exactly what you need to be doing. So you start coding it up, you start taking all these amazing ideas that are literally buried in your head, and you're putting them out into the world. This is where all that creativity that you have is now coming out. All right, so this is the part that I honestly like the most, and you'll enjoy it the most as well. But what happens once you code it up? You send it, and do they just accept it? They just go, oh, boom, you're done. This is the best thing ever. And now let's pay you, or let's end this. Unfortunately, what happens actually most of the times is that they give you some feedback, and they're like, this is not exactly what we wanted, or maybe we need some new features. So you code, and then you send, and then you get some feedback, you code. So this stage over here, it's not just a one-step process. It's kind of a little back and forth. It's like a little cycle. That's why you see that little cycle thing that I've put together for you. And after all of this is over, and once the app has been finalized and it's done, now this is also another really fun part. So it's the once it's all over stage, and this is where the after party takes place. So you parting words with client, how to end it, what kind of contract, if any, you have to send. to basically end the whole thing. And then after you have those parting words with your client and you guys part ways and you shake hands and the project is done and they're happy with it, you confirm that. Now we get to another awesome stage, which is called project stacking. So here you go to your portfolio, okay? And if you watched the previous video, I've literally handed you the Profitable Programmer portfolio. And in your My Work section, you take the app that you just built with your client and you just plug and chug it in the My Work section. This is where you show off the work that you did, okay? And make sure that in the agreement you sent earlier, okay, you mentioned that you're going to be putting this on your website. Because if you don't do that, because of non-disclosure agreements, a lot of Python freelancers can't even show the work that they have done for other people. And that's the worst. And that's why also they don't get the jobs that they deserve. Because when you look at their work, it doesn't show any work, even though they have a lot of experience and they're really good. Because in their agreements, what they have is that they can't show the client's app that they built and they can't put it on their portfolio. So make sure you have that in your agreement. So project stacking, you want to put that project in your portfolio without showing all the code or anything like that, okay? That's still the IP, intellectual property of your client. Now let's move on. And here's another fun part. Now you call your client and you collect that testimonial or that review, all right? And once you do that, you save it somewhere in maybe a Google Doc, doesn't really matter. And after this, we get to another fun stage, which is called proof stacking. And in this stage, what you're going to be doing is essentially all that proof that they're giving you, all those reviews they're going to be giving you, you go back to the Profitable Programmer portfolio that I gave you in the previous video, and you put all the testimonials and the reviews right there, maybe even next to the My Work section, where you are putting those apps. Okay, so this is the entire Python client gating blueprint. I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see all of it in one go. I have made this available for you in below this video, where you could just literally download this and steal my Python client gating blueprint and use it to get clients once you get to that stage. Hopefully this was awesome for you, and we're gonna cut this screencast now. We have covered a lot today, okay? We have went from learning about the Profitable Programmer roadmap to all the stages you need, from zero coding skills to freelancing, and how do you find a client, to how do you start working with the client, to what do you do when you're making that app, and then ultimately how to close it, okay? So we went through all of this stuff together. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really fun. I hope you were excited. And now just imagine, no matter where you are in your journey, just think about, isn't it easy now looking at all of this? And you can see how everything works and is tied together. You can see where you are as a beginner and what milestones you need to hit to stop being that beginner, to becoming a web developer, and then to going on to freelancing, and exactly what you need to do. Now contrast that with college and you have no idea what you're doing, or contrast that with some online course or some coding boot camp, and they just tell you, just believe in the process and trust the system and give us 15 or 50 or $100,000, accumulate loans, cross your fingers, and maybe you'll get a job. And guess what? Most people don't even get jobs when they come out of those places or when they go through those online trainings and tutorials. So wasn't that refreshing? All right. With that said, here's what I want you to do at this point, okay? Here's how you can boost your success rate of becoming the Python freelancer, the Python developer, being able to take those ideas and bringing them into life and getting paid what you deserve doing them by 65%, boosting that success rate, right? Here's how you can do it. Share this video with at least one friend or family member. That accountability, if they join you on this journey of you becoming a freelancer, your success rate will be boosted by 65%. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to also comment below on this video. And after seeing that age doesn't matter, whether you're old or young, you can still be a Python developer. And after finding out your earning potential, after finding out that intelligence and having the perfect 4.0 GPA doesn't matter, after finding out and seeing the profitable programmer portfolio that I revealed in the part 2 of this Profitable Programmer Masterclass, and after having that roadmap from going from zero to becoming that freelancer that gets paid top dollar, and seeing all of this and having me bust all those limiting beliefs, tell me at this point, what is your excuse? And with that said, I want to invite you to a very special event. Okay, this webinar is gonna blow your mind. Okay, if you thought all of these videos were awesome, wait till you see this webinar. And on this webinar, I'm gonna be going into what's holding you back. So we're gonna have that Q&A section where you and I, get to talk one-on-one personally, and that's gonna be at the end of the webinar. And in the start, I'm gonna be opening up my new course. All right, this course is called The Profitable Programmer: How to Create Apps and Land Your First Client with Python in Less than 90 days and get that first paycheck. I'm going to be covering exactly what's going to be in this course, all the amazing stuff that's going to be covered in this course, and I'm going to have that Q&A section at the end, so any questions you have, we cover them. You're invited to this webinar. Make sure that below this video or somewhere around it, you click a button and register for this webinar because I want to see you there, okay? Make sure you are there. I would love to have you. With all of that said, you have unlimited potential, my friend. Especially after seeing all this, you have literally years a head start on anybody else. You know the secrets that most developers and most people who've been working in this industry for literally 10, 20, 30 years, they don't even know. You have the potential to become that developer in months instead of years. You have that potential to change not only your life, but literally your family's lives, or maybe even your friends around you. Now you have tapped into that unlimited potential, your Python potential. I'm excited for you, and I cannot wait to see you in the webinar.